Hi all, it's Aaron from Rudy Visuals. Hope you're all doing well today and keeping safe. In today's video, we're looking at the Tamron 28-75mm for Sony E-mount. And yes, we have reviewed this lens a couple of years ago now, so do go and check out that if you want to see kind of a more in-depth review. But we actually originally got this lens as a kind of like a stopgap, as a jack of all trades type of lens, whilst we saved up for some more first party and prime lenses. But even though we now do have a bunch of lenses now for our Sony a7 III and our a7 III, this Tamron zoom lens has still been our go-to lens for the vast majority of video work, including for most of our YouTube A-roll shots. In fact, it's being used right now, all of our product shots and client work as well. And even though there is a newer version of this lens now, the G2, we've actually never felt the need to upgrade this. And even when we do switch to something like a 70-200 or a macro or an 85mm lens, it's usually just for like a specific close-up shot or something like that. And then the Tamron goes right back on again. It is just a complete workhorse of a lens that we've gotten so much value out of. So in today's video, I want to go over why this is still our go-to lens even in 2022, and why if you're a Sony mirrorless user, you should definitely consider getting one for yourself. And whilst you're at it, you should consider getting our sponsor today, Zyro. Zyro is an affordable website builder that provides easy access to creating professional looking websites without the need for any prior coding or web design knowledge. Using Zyro's drag and drop website builder, you can set up a website for your photography or filmmaking business in no time. So you can get yourself out there and start landing jobs and clients. Zyro provides access to powerful AI tools to help you at every step, starting with being able to generate your very own templates that meets all of your website needs, saving tons of time on adapting pre-existing templates. As a photographer and filmmaker, we know how important it is to be able to present your work just the way you want it, and you'll be happy to know that Zyro offers many different tools to present your photos and videos in your ideal layout. Best of all, Zyro features an AI writer to help create high quality content for your website and can come in handy when writer's block kicks in. The AI writer will generate tons of different examples which you can then modify to make your own. Zyro is an affordable option for newcomers and professionals, whilst providing high quality service, 24/7 support and fast website loading speeds to give you and your potential clients the best experience possible. With our code RUDYVisuals, you can save up to 71% on your photography portfolio using Zyro's limited time deal, which provides you with a custom domain and 3 months free with any yearly plan. You can use our link in the description box below or in the pinned comment, so get started today. Back to the video. So before we do any more talking, here's just a few of our favorite shots and video samples, all shot with the Tamron 28-75. By the way, if you want to see some more video examples shot with this lens, check out the links in the description below to see videos that were filmed entirely using the Tamron 28-75. So what did you think of the photos and video footage? Let us know in the comment section below. And by the way, if you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button. We make photography and filmmaking related videos, reviews and tutorials, and we'd love to see you here again. Now, the big elephant in the room is that yes, there is a new version of this lens, the G2, and here are the comparison specs right now. So we've never actually used it ourselves, but from everything that we've seen and read about it, it's essentially a little bit better in terms of build quality, has an extra custom button, a USB Type-C port for firmware updates, is a tad sharper wide open, and focuses a fraction quicker as well. So it is a better lens generally, but we are talking really, really fine details, fine margins in terms of actual real world improvements. You also need to shell out around £800 compared to £600 you need for the first version. And you can get it for even cheaper if you go for the used market on eBay, for example. In my opinion, it's not worth the upgrade if you already own one, and if you're looking for an all-around zoom lens on a budget, it's hard not to recommend the Mark 1, especially when you see the price tags of some of its competition, like the Sony and Sigma 24-70 f2.8. Hopefully what you did see from all of our samples though is just the sheer variety of shots that you're able to get for both video and photo. So that versatility that you're able to get from 28mm all the way to 75mm makes it such a fantastic all-rounder. You know, whether you're shooting portraits, street, architecture, product photography, macro style, close-up, sports, and for video, you know, for vlogging, it's great for talking headshots like this, for B-roll, for YouTube. And other than subjects that are like really far away, for like, you know, wildlife or sports where subjects are a little further away, there isn't really many situations where the Tamron 28-75 can't get you great results. One thing that I personally love about this lens is the minimum focusing distance of just 19 centimeters at 28mm, meaning you can get really close to your subjects, which has made it really fantastic for shooting product shots for our gear reviews and gives you that extra versatility. Let's say if you're a wedding shooter, you can get some really nice intimate shots of rings or little details on dresses. Then you can just zoom back out, take group shots, take portraits. It's just really versatile in that sense. Even at 75mm, you still get a minimum focusing distance of 39 centimeters, which is still pretty fantastic. Another area this lens has proved itself is its build quality. So it's not the most premium lens that we own, but this has literally been used every day for the past 2-3 years as a YouTube daily driver. It's been around the world, it's been in heavy snow, as you can see, it's been in tropical heat, it's been used for client photos and video shoots, for fun, for vacations. I've used it to film things at work. It's been just a real workhorse of a lens, and we've treated it pretty roughly, but it has just never ever let us down. It's made mostly of lightweight metals in the barrel and even includes weather sealing with an expensive fluorine coating on the front element to resist grease and dirt and scratches and things like that. And the fact that it's also pretty reasonable in terms of the size and weight, even when fully zoomed out, it's still fairly compact and easy to shoot with, especially compared to the much bigger Sony 24-70mm lens. Autofocus is another area where this lens has really performed well for us over the years, just nailing shot after shot after shot, as you can see here. Obviously we shoot a lot of portraits and we love shooting when our models particularly are very active and moving around doing sports, and while occasionally we do get some missed shots here and there, as you'll see for the vast majority of the time, the Tamron does a great job just nailing down focus, working flawlessly with the Sony mirrorless cameras' face detect and eye AF. For video, very much the same results. It focuses reliably, catching onto faces quickly enough for most scenarios. It doesn't focus quite as fast as something like our 7200, but you're talking about a lens that is purpose built for fast subjects and also costs double the price. When the lens was first released, some users did complain about video focus issues, but I do believe these were fixed pretty quickly with some firmware updates. And in the past few years, we've never once had an issue. I think we bought the lens after that initial firmware update was rolled out. In terms of the image quality, again, you can just check out our original review for a little bit more detail, but long story short, as you'll see from our many sample images, the Tamron is a super sharp lens. If we pinch into some of these portraits, you'll see just how sharp and glass-like these eyes look. You know, we've got some really great color as well in contrast, lots of detail in the skin and clothing here, for example. I also love how punchy the shots always look with this lens. You know, we see excellent sharpness in the center of the image, wide open, even at f2.8. The only issues that I've really had with this lens being some noticeable vignetting wide open and some noticeable barrel distortion at 28mm. I also love that there is zero chromatic aberration, which is something that is a personal pet peeve of mine. And obviously shooting at f2.8, you're able to get that nice subject to background separation. Now the bokeh is certainly very unique looking on this lens. You get this kind of outlining effect with some circular highlights and geometric kind of distortion of bokeh circles that won't be to everyone's taste. It can look a little bit messy. It's definitely not the creamiest or smoothest bokeh, but for me, I do like that it adds this almost kind of like a vintage look to your bokeh backgrounds. And I think for video, the results really speak for themselves. You always get something that looks unique. I think my only real major gripe with this lens that I've encountered over the years is the 28mm focal length compared to like a 24-70. You do kind of notice that lack of a slightly wider focal length. I'd prefer personally to have 24 instead of 28 and could make do with 70 on the other end compared to 75mm. It's certainly not a big deal breaker by any means, but if you are used to using a 24-70, you will notice it at first. Other than that though, it's really hard to fault this lens, especially for the money, especially if you go for a used one around £500. There really isn't much else out there that can compare with this lens in terms of bang for the buck. Maybe the Sigma 28-70 might be a reasonable comparison. And I'm not sure personally if the G2 version of this lens offers enough of an upgrade to warrant the extra cost. If you can afford the Sony G Master or the Sigma 24-70, then that's great. But if you're just looking for a cheap, reliable workhorse lens that won't break the bank, that won't let you down, that you can use for pretty much anything and everything, then I really can't recommend this lens highly enough. I mean, there is a reason why this has been our most used lens for the past couple of years, because it really is quite very good. And for all those reasons, that's why it's been our go-to lens and why I'd still highly recommend it even now in 2022. So there you have it. Let us know what your current go-to lens is right now. We'd love to know down in the comment section below. That's gonna do it for this video. Any questions, let us know, and make sure to hit that like button if you found this useful. Hit subscribe to see more videos, and also hit that bell notification to keep updated. Make sure to follow us on socials as well. And thank you to Zyra for making this video possible and for sponsoring. We'll see you on the next video. Peace.